Hello everybody. So this is a video in case you already know how to do a mask, how to defocus one person, but in your video you have a lot of people who are moving in a different way. So you need to make more than one mask. Now I couldn't find a video that explains this, but it's not like I'm not really an expert, so this is my solution, might not be the best. This is the Sony Vegas 14, which as far as I know it doesn't have auto tracking, and this is why I came with this solution that really doesn't look like the best. But anyway, this is my solution. So basically, as you can see, it is quite crazy. What I did is I chose 1, 2, 3 people to make masks to them, to defocus them. I rendered the video, then I put it on top. I defocus 1, 2, or 3 more people. I render the video, I put it on top, and I do more masks, and so on till all the people have masks. Yeah, I'm gonna explain you why. This is what I call my render cake. So before, let's wait for the computer to work here. Now this part I'm pretty sure you already know. I'm gonna make one mask. As you can see, there are lots of people who already have a mask, right, who are defocused, because this is like a video from a render, right? And so far for me, all these renders, they didn't cause any damage to the quality of the video, so for my purposes it's okay. Maybe in your case it's not great to do so many renders. I really don't know much about that, but it did work for me. So you already know how to do this. If you don't, there are lots of videos in YouTube that explain to you how to do that. One thing I wanted to tell you, because it was a mistake for me at the beginning, it's quite obvious, but just in case, remember, because you are in your render cake, remember that you do need to turn the previous video off. It's basic, but you know, you might forget, so it's good to remember. So by just turning the opacity down like this, you turn it off, and so it works, because as you can see here, otherwise it looks like you are not actually doing a mask, right? Because your base is not the defocused video, but the other one. So remember this, to turn it off. Now we go back here. I'm gonna do some movements so I can show you my reason behind the render cake here. Now you pretty much know about this, right? Right now I don't have a keyframe here. I call these keyframes. I'm not sure, maybe it has another name, but I don't know it because I really don't know that much. Now once I move my mask, I generate a new keyframe, and I think you know that. Great, now we have our mask. The one I wanted to tell you, for any reason you don't need to put the mask on your person anymore, because maybe the person, I don't know, he or she turned and now we don't see the face or something. Remember, you still need to take the mask out, because otherwise it will stay in your video and it will look like, you know, a UFO. So how do we do that? Basically, let's say I don't need the mask anymore in here, so we click on the mask and we delete it with the keyboard, and there we go. I have a keyframe from that, so now it comes from here. Now you see it. Now I think that it's actually not great, because you have another keyframe, and there are so many keyframes, you're gonna end up with so many keyframes that at least I prefer to avoid as many keyframes as possible. So for me, the easiest way is just cutting the video. So basically, I watch the video and I cannot think of a strategy. And you see, for example, we see this girl here. In here, you don't need the mask anymore because we cannot see her face. Therefore, I just cut the video. And now I have two videos. So once I cut my video, I start with the mask. And because now the video is this small, my mask is gonna finish with the video. Once the video ends, the mask ends. And no keyframes are needed. For me, that's very important. You're gonna see now why I'm so crazy about keyframes. Now, I have my people here, and now it's time to do my second mask, right? Let's do it here. Here we go. Now, let's see what happens. You see? There. This is the reason why I do the render cake. Yeah, so basically every time there is a keyframe from my previous mask, my new mask is going to disappear. I mean, maybe there is a solution for this and I just don't know, because you can see there are some buttons here. I don't know. If you know, please let me know. Yeah, so for me, what I do is make another one right after it's gone. Of course, it's a pain, right? And also because you see there is a little difference between them. So you might, depending of your level of obsession, you might want to modify it so it looks as similar as possible to the previous one. Yeah, so this is why I don't like keyframes. Now there is one more thing, which is, let's say I have it here. Okay, so I have a keyframe, so I need to generate a new one. I think you know already what's gonna happen. Now, you see, because my new keyframe is not exactly next to the keyframe from my previous mask, there is going to be a time there is no keyframe. And even if it's not even a second, it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look like there is a flickering or something, you know. So this is why you need to make sure that you put it next to the other one. You can move the keyframes, which is really cool. You can also copy paste them actually with Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, but it did cause me some trouble. So I don't know. I rather not touch the copy paste buttons just in case. There is one thing I wanted to say about planning, about strategy. It sounds a bit insane, right, to have to be doing plans on masks, but yeah, basically what I do is I watch the video and then I see which is the person that moves less, because the person who is going to move less is gonna generate less keyframes, and therefore that's the person who should be the first one, because there will be a keyframe at the very beginning and that's it. Whereas if you start with the one who moves a lot, then of course you move to the next person and you're gonna have to do what I just did a lot of times. It's gonna be extremely annoying, really. And the other thing, which is actually quite annoying as well, is that once you have your second mask, and for any reason you want to modify the first one, sometimes, I don't know why, but it's not that easy. So therefore, another thing I do, which is also quite insane, and I know it, is if I see I might have trouble, I would do a render with my first mask. So before doing a second mask, I would do a render to just make sure that it's okay, that there is no flickering, like I didn't make any mistake. Because if I realize about that once I already did my second one, it's gonna be a huge pain to go back and change it. Because not only because I clearly don't know some things about Vegas, but also because there are so many keyframes that it's really annoying. So that's why for me it's better to just make sure that the first one is good before you go to the second one. And for that, I just do a render, which I'm not gonna use. I'm just gonna do the render just to see that it's all good. And then you delete that render. But it really worked really good for me. Yeah, and the render cake, the reason for my render cake is basically because sometimes for some reasons, I don't know, you might have a mistake and you didn't realize it. Let's say on level 2 you made a mistake and you realize in level 4, and if you have deleted all your previous renders, there is no way to go back. So that's why for me anyway, for me it's always important to have your history, so you can always go back. It actually worked for me. It actually made a difference. I realized about something, and basically because you have all the masks in here, even let's say you don't like your video number 3, remember, because the render number 2 you made a mistake in layer 2 and now you're in layer 4. So you made a mistake here and you want to do again layer 2. So to be able to have a better video for layer 3 and for layer 4. Of course, if you don't have layer 2 anymore, you cannot do it. So what you can do, you do a new video, a new layer 2, and you probably know this, you just replace the old one with properties, because you remember Vegas, it automatically uses whatever video you call with the name of the file you have here. So if I do a new video, I just call it the same name, and this one I will call it in a different way, like an X, like previous or something like that, right? And then Vegas will just use that as a base to do the masks, and so therefore you don't need to do so many things. It really saved me. I don't know, it's like free. Of course it's a bit annoying to have all the layers, but I think it could actually really be helpful. I would do it. There are other things I want to tell you, but in another video, because my computer is really slow and it's gonna die soon. Yeah, so please remember, if there is anybody watching this and you have better ways of doing this, please let me know, because I've been working really hard with my solution and I know it's not the best one. It works, but there's probably a better way to do it. So let me do the next video. See you.